It's been over a year and a half since WorldBox gave me an update, and I'm ready to throw hands. They said the update was 80% done over 2 months ago, and just... In all seriousness, I am glad they are taking as much time as they need to deliver something fully baked. Unlike many other game development studios who just deliver half-baked brain rot, the WorldBox devs have been adding a lot to the game. And like always, they always tease new features along the way. I want to go over all of the teasers, posts, and videos with all the facts and speculations for what's to come. Because just like always, over the last year and a half, they've been giving us just enough to keep us engaged. It's just, they're just tickle edging us with a promise of content. Alright, cool, let's look at it. Starting off strong with bearded baby dwarves. Fabulous, truly stunning. The clone rain tool, or as I like to call it, the duplicator. Nobody asked for it, but we have it now, so that's cool. Now everything after this gets insanely complex, like I need to get a master's degree in genetics to even grasp what's going on, but we'll get to that. The Monolith is finally going to do something, allegedly. It was added into the game last update and did absolutely nothing. On April 1st, 2023, we got the first post for the next update, showing the Monolith and how tired it is, I guess. I guess the Monolith was tired after doing absolutely nothing for the past year. Then 1 year later, on April 1st, 2024, things finally got a little interesting. We got 2 more images, but only one really matters. The second image is insane, with what I think to be walls, seemingly a progress bar, hypothetically being the progress of the update. The actual biome around is also new, with clocks melting on trees. Maybe the clocks represent something, maybe the monolith is supposed to transcend time. This is all we know about it. We don't really have any other context. I've been speculating it might be like a source of religion for the people, which I believe is supposed to be coming in this update, or an object that stays between maybe new world creation, keeping cultures for new kingdoms and peoples to quickly learn what those before them learned. I think that'd be pretty rad. We got 2 awesome videos showing an elf dodging arrows. They're gonna get him. They're gonna get him. Oh no, he's too quick. And another with arrows colliding and bouncing back, which is just satisfying and something I didn't know I needed. Then we got a post showing an image within the Kingdom tab with the buttons such as Spite, Inspiration, Discord, Friendship, and Whisper of War, all abilities that allow you to meddle within the kingdoms of your world. But now we're looking at this puzzle piece that's supposed to go in there with them. I've been waiting for a feature that allows for forming alliances. I've had to do it with mods, and I believe this is what the button will do. That seems to be the major consensus with the community as well. We have a button to remove nations from an alliance, so it just kind of makes sense that they'll finally actually allow us to play Matchmaker. They've teased 9 new biomes, being garlic, birch, maple, lucky, clock, flower, and rocklands, and a weird undisclosed purple biome. I can't wait to frolic like a little soy boy in the flower biome. Maxime, the developer, shared an image with what seems to be an orc and a human mixed village, but with no humans in sight, so racism is still strong, don't worry about that. In fact, some human buildings seem to have been destroyed by the orcs, so I think it's implying that the empire who conquers can use other species already created infrastructure, which I really like. I think that adds a lot of depth and history to the WorldBox worlds. And who knows, maybe we'll get interracial villages, not just old buildings kind of thing. Maybe this update is the end of WorldBox racism. We'll see. There are 4 new kingdom layers with theories on what they may be. First one is mostly hypothesized as being a religion layer, which I am so pumped for, and it's been teased for the past few updates. I mean, they even build little churches and temples in the game. You could hear them all worshiping or whatever, though. The next one having probably the most mystery around it. It may be related to discourse between nations or language of some kind. You'll see later in this video that they're trying to do a lot with cultures and subspecies, and I think they might be trying to tie in language of some kind. Maybe languages will be somehow simulated. I don't know. The third button is assumed to be the genealogies and family trees, with the last button being a subspecies layer, which again, the last 3 there, they're actually, we have more teasers that kind of maybe fill in those gaps or explain those a little bit. So let's get into that, even though they get a little bit more complicated. They are adding in family trees. You'll be able to click on any of the little dudes and see if he's inbred or not. It's actually crazy. You can see everything from current families in the world to who is currently alive in a specific family to ancestral historical lines, including siblings and, in this case, dead grandparents. Even a window that shows relations between families. These family ties will affect relationships between each person and affect the culture accordingly. Even animals have genealogies for some reason. This part of the update is absolutely the most in-depth and complicated thing ever, making the game just that much more confusing. This brings every creature into the game to have their own branch of evolution separate from other creatures depending on what biome they were born in and what nation they were born into. This update brings us 3 windows into subspecies, first being the subspecies window, which is the overview of the specific subspecies, showing us the subspecies traits, level, and so much more. Next, we have another screen showing multiple layers of a subspecies characteristics and how we will be able to choose these characteristics. Some shown are reproductive methods. I need to learn some of those. Maturation, egg types, and phenotypes, which, big word, I think is skin color. The last window we've been shown is the gene editor, using chromosomes and gene alleles, I think that's how you say that, to give special effects or somehow manipulate the gene pool for the ever-growing or declining populations. WorldBox now requires a college-level education to play, so that's cool. I guess I'm resigning. Just kidding. They've decided to rework cultures as they tie everything into the game into just a gigantic spaghetti knot that we could all enjoy choking down. First, we got a video showing a more fluid and dynamic way cultures will be shown on the minimap, which is actually super nice. Then with the new culture editor, it's how it sounds. We can edit cultures. Not only that, but they're also depicted now with colored rugs. All of these traits for these cultures can and will also be acquired by living in the world, whatever they do be and like, I guess. So, you know, yeah. Based off of the subspecies and the genes and all the little people, their emotions and everything. We can see the trait categories such as kingdom, knowledge, warfare, weapons, and happiness, maybe pointing towards, again, emotions of the little people having more of an impact. Then they stated on a Steam post that cultures will now be closely related to royal clans. Another feature we will get to shortly, which will determine basically how the nation's governments will run, or at least how they'll determine the next leader when there's inevitably dies in a horrific accident. Nobody dies in a peaceful way in WorldBox. So we've been shown 3 options so far, being a matriarchy, a diplomatic ascension, and a warrior's ascension. I personally really hope to see a theocracy. I think that'd be so cool. There's been teased 5 new species and maybe more. Take this with a grain of salt, but you'll see the images. For sure, lemon people are coming. For sure, onion or garlic. I don't know what I think they're onions. Onion people are coming. That's kind of like the only 2 solidified ones. Whatever these weird monkey looking things are. Or maybe they're crystal golems. I don't know. And then there's also been demons that have been teased and these obscure, bizarre image of lizard people. I don't know. We don't really know other than the first 3 for sure. And maybe not even the first 3. Really, just the lemon and the onions and whatever these monkey dudes are. All the rest of them have been shown in much more obscure ways. I don't know who these buildings really are owned by, but you know, your imagination can run wild. Many animals have also been scattered throughout the post, some hidden and others more upfront and blunt, like llamas, scorpions, and this blue bug thing, which is kind of neat. Also werewolves, I guess, maybe? We already have wolves in the game, but this one's standing up howling. They've evolved. Maxine posted a video of a person mining a stone and then with a cool animation delivering it to a building. It's titled Skilled Workers, maybe implying that jobs for individual members of a nation will be much more important and emphasized in this update, which is super cool. Kings and leaders will now participate in taking of territory. In this video, we can see a king doing a little dance and song, and then he expands his nation's territory. Wow. Much more engaging than what we currently have, where territory tiles just kind of grow out of nowhere just because they can. Walls! Walls have been one of the most teased and anticipated features of this game for a long time. And they've been posting pictures of them, at least kind of obscure images of it. And then there's like this really cool skeleton dude. I don't know what that's about. Graphs are a fun added bonus because why not? We are teased with 2 windows, one called the graph window showing the population differences between babies and adults in a nation, along with many other options for everything else, which is awesome. You can kind of see whatever statistics you could ever want. The second window shows us a population pyramid showing a nation's current divide between men and women populations in their respective age ranges. That might then play into birth roles, where there might actually need to be a man and a woman now, and or maybe even like an age range for pregnancies or something like that. So you can kind of maybe determine the health of a nation through that. At least that's what I'm assuming. I think that would be pretty cool. Clans will now be more important, with the royal clans having an editor with many options and traits specifically for the clan. These traits are determined by many factors such as biome of birth and traits from the subspecies. Clans are separate from the family trees, but rather made up from different people from different families. So it's just like a giant organized club pretty much to try and form some sort of royal family, some sort of royal something, I guess. And other changes. And based off this Reddit post, there will be other changes such as changes in weapon production, color selection, keeping war record, the name generator, keeping world history, and control of snow melting. So yeah, they have given us enough to chew on to break our jawbone. If you want to see it all, but in more depth, I will link a Reddit post in the description going over everything here, but in more detail. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this and what you're excited for, or even what you would like to see come to the game. As always, God bless.